are listening to the Careers BU podcast, the podcast aimed at Bournemouth University students and graduates. Each episode, we talk to employers, alumni and professionals all about their career journey, what employers are looking for, and help you explore the opportunities that are available to you. Welcome to today's episode. I'm your host, Amanda Fripp. Today I chat to Ayra Syamsul. Ayra was an international student at BU who graduated in 2022. Today we talk about her experience as an international student coming to the UK for the first time, the various responsibilities she took whilst at university, and her experience of the UK graduate job search. Okay, welcome Ayra. Thank you for joining me today. Can you just introduce yourself and a bit about your background?
All right. Thank you for having me today as well. My name is Ayra Syamsul, and I just graduated from Bournemouth University literally in June, I believe, June 2022. And I graduated with BA Hons Sociology and Social Anthropology, and now I'm working in the corporate background in London.
Where are you from originally? So you're an international student, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I'm from Malaysia, and fun fact, I actually go to the UK for the first time for university, technically, and I've been staying here ever since.
Wow. So coming to university was your first experience of the UK?
Yes, and just studying abroad in general.
Amazing. What made you choose Bournemouth University?
So technically, I joined during clearing, and when I was looking for the right university that I want to go, I looked through the courses. So I know I've always wanted to be in having like research backgrounds, and when I look through like other in like universities in general in the UK that offer social anthropology, I also when I look at Bournemouth University what they have to offer, I found that the courses are very interesting, and they also shared about the lecturers and who's in charge with certain modules or certain like fields, and it's very interesting to find like what the lecturers are passionate about. Like I remember Professor Sarah, she's done a decade studies in Malaysia, and I found that, I've never really met someone that actually did like thorough social anthropology background research in Malaysia as well. And I personally think I make the right decisions to come to Bournemouth Uni because the models are great and I learned a lot throughout my learning experience here.
Excellent. Oh, I'm really glad you had a good time and you learnt a lot. So, how did you find your experience as a non-UK student coming to the UK for the first time and being at university? How did you adapt? How did you find that experience?
For sure, it's quite a culture shock. I wouldn't deny that at all. I never knew about Freshers Week is a thing. So when I first come here and they were like, oh, it's Freshers Week, everyone's going out. And by that time, I decided to stay at a studio because I guess I don't want to feel too overwhelmed with staying with I know it's a great way to make friends, and that's what I did after my first year, which is staying in a house share. But I'd say with Freshers Week and then with the way of the curriculums being laid out, it does take a while for me to kind of like adapt to it. I would say it take me like from September until like winter break to actually like getting used to everything and the way the lectures does and the seminars as well, managing my own timetables, and now I kind of got my independence life, but at the same time when you suddenly got it, you don't know what to do with it. That's, I would say, it's quite a struggle for me. Yeah, but at the same time, I do notice that BU community is very helpful and very supporting, and I'd say it's very like it's great that at BU or Cebu in general, there's so many clubs and societies that I wouldn't even imagine exist. Yeah, it's just all fun. During my first year, I joined the Computer Cybersecurity Society, and it's great because the student itself taught other students how to do codings and everything. So again, back to like how everyone's so helpful and very welcoming. I do really feel grateful for that, because as an international student as well, I'll say I'm quite homesick, and it's just a lot of things going on at the same time. Yeah, but it's great to like having like lovely people around as well.
And it sounds like building those communities was really beneficial for you.
Yes.
With your experience while at BU, obviously you were studying and you joined the societies. What else did you do to help develop your employability skills whilst at university?
So throughout my 3 years at uni, I believe I did up, oh, I need to count it right now. I think about 7 to 9 jobs overall.
Oh, wow. What type of jobs did you do?
So the first kind of like experience, I joined the student ambassador. So I noticed that I think before I joined, I come to the UK as well. I kind of got an email asking if I'm interested to become a student ambassador. And when I looked through the job descriptions, it seems kind of like a great way to also enhance my confidence to like and communication skills, because it requires me talking with prospective students, and also talk a lot about my courses, which I really don't mind because I'm truly enjoying my courses. And it's also a great way to like meet new friends, because um, I will admit throughout these 3 years, I've met lots of lovely people through working as student ambassador, and some of them remains good friends until now. So that would be my first job in the UK, and also when I joined BU, and afterwards I decided to run for the role as Asian, Arab, and Ethnic Minority Campaign Officer for Subu. I got elected, and I stayed for the role for 2 years, I believe. And from then on, I just keep on have kind of applying there and there, and I'd say trying to build up my experiences, because I know if I decided to work in the UK, which I am right now, I'm gonna compete with a lot of people, and I need some to do something to enhance my employability performance. Like, I did this and this is my background, and I'm willing to do like to learn more and enhance my skills as well.
You made the most of your time, didn't you? And I think, were you a PAL leader as well?
Yes, so at the on my last year, I decided to join Leader, because I remember in my first year that when we kind of like a bit confused about what is PAL, and we met with our PAL leader, and I kind of find it's great. And I also found out that BU is one of the first to introduce this PAL leader, not courses, but PAL leader scheme. So I decided to become one during my final year. And I'd say, because by being as student ambassador and also being part of super officer, it kind of give me like the spirits to like help students as well, especially like the first year students by that time, because my goals by that time is kind of provide them the informations that I wish I know I during my first year. So throughout my times as PAL leader, I kind of give them a form to fill before the session. So kind of like I don't want to waste anyone's time, and at least during that session we kind of focus on certain topics, and majority ask a lot about um, the assignments mostly, and also study skills, and also talking about like part-time jobs.
Did you do a placement as part of your course as well?
No, so I decided to do summer internship. I believe I did 2 summer internships. So first with Pool Museum, and I technically didn't really apply, but I asked if they have any like availability. And from there, I kind of like found that it's actually great to just ask, because the worst I could get is a no. And the reasons why I applied, because beforehand I also volunteer at Pool Museum as the facilitator, and that's how I kind of like, oh, I kind of want to get into like research in the museums, because I do love museums and art galleries. And I just asked the ones in charge for the upcoming exhibitions, and she was like, oh yeah, you can join for this certain things. And I ended up doing market research, and it's great to find out that actually using the results from my research and they put it on the upcoming activities that they're going to do. So when I read about it on LinkedIn, I was like, oh, that's nice.
Brilliant. So that was really worth just asking, isn't it? It's just the speculative approach of just going to companies or
Yeah.
organizations and asking if there's placements. But you were volunteering at Poole Museum anyway, which is a good kind of way into to somewhere like that. And you said you had two internships. Did you do another internship somewhere else?
Yes, so I found this website called Work Finder. We just asked around at Curious BU, and she kind of recommended Work Finder. And what find out for me, it's kind of like where students like me by that time could apply kind of a freelancing, but it's also internship level style, but it's also paid, which is great. And I got the role as social media executive, if I'm not mistaken, or social media creative kind of roles with this company called Benevolent Health based in London. And my role was rebranding her products and her image as the main voice for that company. And she also paid for my travels to London for me to filming and everything. And so I did editing and all based on her kind of like based on her requests. And I'd say it's quite an experience because that kind of got me into the creative sides as well, which then led me to got another role as social media executive, which I work as part-time in my final year.
Oh wow. Oh brilliant. That's really good. So yeah, Workfinder's like it's a platform, isn't it, where you can go on and register and then look at or find opportunities. They can be short term, can't they? Remote, sometimes in person, sometimes paid voluntary work. Yeah, I've heard of that platform. So that really helped you, did it? Get that opportunity and develop those skills.
Yeah, definitely. It's something like LinkedIn, but less intimidating.
Excellent. That's really great. Okay. So, in terms of what you're doing now then, so we'll talk a little bit about your current job and then how you found that process of applying to it. So, tell me about your current role.
So I work as learning events producer at InfoPro Digital, and this role practically involve researching, producing, and also develop their training courses. And at first, I'm kind of like, what exactly am I doing? But I know that I got hired because of my research skills, which I really valued the feedback. And in general, we are producing courses, particularly in risk management in finance. And in terms of research wise, I need to research what's the current regulations going on, for example, with credit risk and or with ESG or machine learning and everything related to it. And a lot of it is kind of like new for me because I only did economics in A levels. So it's kind of like brushing off like old memories about, oh, what is this terms called and everything. But they're very flexible. They don't really require people working in the economics back or having economic background from uni. It's more about the willingness to actually just learn about new things continuously. And I mean, that's always something that I love to do anyway. And from this role itself, I got the opportunity to also talk with experts in finance. That's part of like my research calls and asking them what they think what's going to happen in 2023, for example, with like the economy is going on with inflation and recessions and everything. So it's really interesting to get to know these experts opinions about it. And what it also enhanced my kind of like knowledge about what's going on and what's going to happen for 2023, for example. And then from that itself, from the research and from the calls, I then need to implement it for my training courses. So it's kind of like the producer for producing these courses for other business people. So it's B2B kind of concept. And So I ask people, experts, and then I producing something for people who wants to be the expert for this ones and want to learn about it and to also help with their organizations as well. So that's basically my roles.
Excellent. Sounds really interesting. And where did you hear about this role?
I'd say LinkedIn. I'd say LinkedIn is the best platform for graduate like me to find first job. And I'm just really surprised that there's a lot of things on LinkedIn that I've never even heard of, like conference producer. And that's how I actually got into this current role, because at first, when I first started applying, I want to be like market researcher. And then when applying for a few months, I jump around kind of, and then I found about conference producer. So it's a mixture of research and also event management and producing. And then I also found this role in this kind of everything is very related to each other. And my current role is also research and also event management, producing, and both of these are something I really enjoy doing back because I feel like it really enhanced my education's background and also my skills.
Yeah, LinkedIn is great, isn't it?
They definitely recommend that for graduates. Yeah.
Applying for this job, what did they ask you to do? Did they ask you for a CV or an application form? What was the process you had to go through?
So when I applied for the role, I need to give my CV and cover letter. And then I got called for the interview, which involved two rounds of interviews. And the first round was with the manager based in London, and she just asked me a few questions about my backgrounds, what I think going to implement it best for these roles, and she also gave me the chance to ask about the roles, and she just asked some kind of like to chat around to get to know me better as a person, not just for what can I do for the corporate, for the companies. And I think her question was what's something that I'm really proud of personally, not just based on work wise instead. So that I would say that interview process was really lovely. And then I got called for the second interview with the manager base in New York, and that involved a task as well. So she gave me a task on the spot and gave me a certain period of time for me to complete it. And it's basically kind of an article, and I'll need to produce how I'm going to approach and produce a course based on that current issues or statement, and then I deliver it to her. It's kind of like a presentation twice as well. And at the end of it, I still remember her exact comments was, "I really like you," and that's why I kind of feel more confident that I will get the job. And after a week, I got the feedback back that I got a call actually that, "Oh hey, just want to inform you, congratulations that you got the job." And by that time it was the fifth month I was searching around for jobs, and it was a relief to finally got that call.
So it didn't happen straight away. You said it took about
No.
5 months.
Yes.
Is that when you finished university? It took about 5 months of you looking?
Yes, so I submitted my dissertation end of May, and I properly start looking in June. I'd say overall my applications was about 300. I
300
Yes,
applications. Wow.
and there's so many rejections, and I've also gotten back about 20 interviews, most of them up until the second stages. So I would say it's quite a long and tiring process, because some companies, the way they schedule their interview process, I also need to do my presentations with which they give the topic only the day before. So I need to. It's kind of like doing assignments last minute, which is not recommended at all.
No.
And it can get really demotivating as well. And I remember doing three interviews back to back, which I also not recommend, despite wanting to really just get a job at that point. But I'd say doing back to back, it's just very tiring, and it will affect like the performance, and it does affect my performance as well. I'd say in case of like the feedbacks and all, usually if it's happy feedback, it'll get within a week, and sadly most of the time I kind of got ghosted by the company if I don't succeed, which I kind of more I would always just ask after a week that they've promised that the time they would get back. I would just approach them and ask if I'm not succeed, if I don't succeed, can they give me a feedback. So that said, this kind of process I learned from Be Curious, and it's really helpful to find out, okay, this is something I shouldn't do for the next time.
Asking for feedback, it's a useful exercise, because that's the only way we can develop and improve for the next one.
Yes, definitely.
So in terms of the support from Careers BU, because I think you completed the Global Talent Programme, which is now called the Graduate Skills Programme. So it's changed its name now. So you did that. And tell me about the support from Careers
Mhm.
BU that you received.
Well, if I'm talking about the GTP, the Global Talent, I think I first found out about it on the website. I realized during my first year, I kind of tick most of the boxes, so why not just apply it? And I also joined the webinar and also the seminars before COVID happened. And I would say the seminars that I attend, it's great, and it's also lovely that it's being arranged and professionals are being called to share about their experience, and also we're being given activities to also communicate with the other students that are also taking this program as well. And it's giving a lot of insights of different things in terms of careers wise and also skill wise as well. And so overall, I'm really glad that I managed to do that program, because looking back, there's a lot of things that I've learned in general, and it also pushed me to and do more of things like joining the clubs and societies and taking these certain roles that I wouldn't think I would ever take. I pushed myself out of my comfort zone, and I'm really glad that I did. From that experience alone, I think it changed me overall as a person, and it kind of just makes me a person that just go for it by now. Because back then I would just like overthink about it, and now I'm just like, "Ooh, that's an opportunity. I'm gonna get it," and it's great. Yeah.
Brilliant. So that's really great that you found that really helpful, and you got to meet with employers and develop your skills on that program.
Yeah, and in terms of other helps that I got with, because tailoring my CVs and also cover letter, and 100% really helpful. And she also helped with my LinkedIn, and I'm really proud with my LinkedIn right now. It's kind of like my top hidden gems that I'm really proud of in terms of like when applying for jobs, because I got a lot of compliments based on that. And with CV and cover letter, I also noticed on the website itself, the guidebooks, the guidelines given, that's very, very helpful. I always let my mates know about this guidebooks. Like, it's there, like, go to the website, download it. It's really, really helpful, and that what helps me with my CV. Overall, I know that the CV is great because of the feedbacks as well. And it's also kind of helped me to prepare for my interviews as well, because before I do the interviews, I would just look back at my CV and, okay, this is something that I need to highlight for this particular roles. And yeah, I'm forever grateful about that. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. That's great. Okay. So, in terms of tips or advice, what advice would you give to other international students coming to the UK to study, and with the aim of obviously finding work afterwards? What advice would you give to them?
I would say I hope it doesn't sound too harsh, but don't wait around, because when there's opportunities, and I would say BU alone offers a lot of opportunities for students, not just for paid experience, but also go for the volunteering ones, because it helps with building the experience while also studying at the same time. Helps with a lot of things like time management, and helps with your CV, and also helps enhancing your skills that you wouldn't even know exist. And look for the there's a lot of resources being given for students, that one thing that I realized, if I don't really look for it, I wouldn't know that it exists. So surely, like, look for it. Don't hesitate to ask around, because I feel like all staff members at BU are very helpful, and they're always happy to help. And just don't be afraid to ask for anything that in terms of guidance, because that's what the whole uni experience are, that you come there, that you want to learn, and everyone's are just ready to help you in terms of finding the jobs and all. I always keep in mind that I am competing with not just international students who also looking for jobs in the UK. I'm also need to think that the locals are students as well, and then it's just lots of competitions around. So I need to kind of think outside of the box on how do I make myself kind of shine. I think doing different jobs that requires different skills. So I don't really go towards just research. I also do something related to it, marketing, and also event management. So having that various vast of like different skills in different sectors really helps kind of just brought my experience wider. And that's something that I would advise all international students to try to do, and get as much as opportunities and experience that they can.
Brilliant. Thank you. I think that's such sound advice about making the most of opportunities, gaining experience, because nowadays just having that degree isn't enough. It's all about those skills and those employability skills, gaining that experience alongside it. So it sounds like you really made the most of your time at uni. So well done, and congratulations on getting your job. It sounds really interesting.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for coming on the podcast today to talk about your experience, and to talk about how you found your work, giving that advice to students. Thank you. I appreciate
No
it.
worries. And I really hope all the answers I've given are, well, at least someone would find it useful.
I'm sure they will. Thank you. Thank you for listening to this episode today. Please subscribe and follow to keep up to date with all our episodes.